Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 4 of the pantry, refrigerator, freezer, all of that clean out and project use it up for the food. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you where I'm at. Now we did just finish a weekend, which was nice, so some things did get finished up. Now this is everything that I'm trying to use up for the fridge. As you can see, this top, I still have all of these things to use up, but I did finish up the cream cheese. The ketchup is gone. Both of the juices are gone. The bagel is gone. One of the tubes of biscuits is gone. One of the jars of Parmesan is gone. The shredded mozzarella is gone. The roast beef, the ham, and the pepperoni is gone. Let's talk about the freezer. The coffees, I still have the apple crumb donut flavor to work through and then the espresso, but the blackberry cobbler is gone. The box of sausage links is gone. What else? The Rhodes dinner rolls, those were gone, which this I will mention too. Those were in the freezer for so long. They tasted really well. Like they were very good, but they didn't rise. So they were like kind of flat. So that's what happens when you keep those in the freezer for too long. Like I said, they tasted fine, but they just didn't rise very well. But those are officially gone. We also used up the sub buns for garlic bread. The banana pudding ice cream is gone, but I still have all these things to use up. And then in the kitchen pantry, the granola bar is gone, the granola cup cookies are gone, the maple cookies are gone, the fig bars are gone. The minis cookies too, I started with 5 packs of those. We are down to 2 packs of those, so that's really good. And the spice cookies are about half gone, so those should be used up pretty soon. The Dino Bite cereal, that is gone. One of the bags of pretzels is gone. I still have one more bag that I'm working through. The bee pollen is gone and the penne is gone. So that's where I'm at right now. Today we're going to be doing the pantry that is off of my kitchen. So let me take you in there and show you. That is this room. Now up at the very top, that's a lot of my like husband's tools and stuff that he uses in the house that he doesn't want to keep out in the garage. So I'm not going to mess with that. And even on this shelf over here, it's the same thing. Some of those are like just flashlights and, you know, nails and stuff for when we have to, you know, hang pictures, a hammer. So I'm not going to mess with those. I'm dealing strictly with the food. So this top shelf, I have canisters that contain macaroni. I have one that contains the 5-minute oats and then also one that has white rice. Over here, this is actually extra white rice, so that should be able to fit in that one, I'm thinking, since that one's got some room. And then a thing of popcorn. Down here on this next shelf, this is my empties. This is where I keep my food and household empties. As you can see, I need to do an empties video because it is like seriously overflowing. So I will probably actually pull that out and try and film an empties video so that I can put that up probably next week sometime, or maybe the end of this week, depending on how this filming goes. And then I do have this shelf that has just like canned food and things like that. So these are some of the things I will be going through. This shelf down here, I have oatmeal packets, and then I keep trash bags. This package of the K-Cups doesn't fit in my little K-Cup holder. So if you guys saw my Big Lots haul, I had gotten 2 boxes. It was 2 boxes with different flavors. The other box is actually in my coffee bar already, but this one wouldn't fit, so I just store it in here. And then I do have like some different dishes and stuff for baking, so those need kind of reorganized. Over here I have like the drink mix little packets that you put in the water bottles. There's like some Velveeta cheese sauce, some things like that. All of my tea that's in here is fine. I'm not, you know, worried about that. I may like organize it a little bit, but it's actually fine. Here's another wall hanger of tea and things like that. Down here I do have like my griddle and my immersion blender and stuff. Those obviously will stay in here. This big thing of pumpkin, that actually should go down in my basement in my stockpile because there's not enough room in here. The water bottles, those will stay. And then I do have these 2 drawers that I do need to go through. This one it's meals and side mixes. So this has got a lot of things like macaroni and cheese, scalloped potatoes, all that stuff. So I will be going through that one. Actually, I'll show you that too. I have 2 bags of potatoes. This is like half full of the russet potatoes, and then I think this is the red potatoes. I think there's only like 3 or 4 in there. So those will be something I need to finish up also. And then here's the other drawer. It's got mainly like ramen noodles and soup and stuff, but then there are some scalloped potatoes and different things like that. So I will be going through that one also. And then over here, this is Kylie's food, so obviously that's going to be left alone. Over there, I don't think, there's just popsicles, that's it, and then like straws and like white lunch bags and stuff, so that area is pretty decent too. So the first area I'm going to start with is up here, and honestly the main part of that is just going to be putting some white rice in that container. Okay, so here are the containers. I did put this bag into the white rice container, so it is now empty, which is nice. This is how I like to store things. I put them in these containers like this because they're much easier to store that way. And then I just, like this, I taped the instructions right to the container. This is the old-fashioned oats. I just kind of put the instructions right on the side with a permanent marker. As you can see, that does need restocked, so I did put that down as a restock item. Same with the macaroni. Now this is how I store my macaroni. Obviously macaroni, it's not difficult to cook. The only thing I always forget is when it says like you need 16 ounces of macaroni, I'm always like, okay, so how many is that in cups? So that's why I put the 4 ounces is 1 cup, and I labeled it with the macaroni. That also needs restocked, so that is on my restock list. The other thing that was up there was this popcorn. It just needs to be finished up, so I put that on the list, as you can see, and we'll just use that for snacks if we do like a movie night or something. So I am going to put these back up on that top shelf, and now we will work down to the second shelf. Okay, as you can see, I put the canisters back up there, and since that rice is gone and so is the popcorn, it actually left me some space. So if I wanted to get like another 10-pound bag of the rice or something, I would be able to fit that there until it can go into the canister. So that's kind of nice that there's some space there. Now this next shelf, the only thing I didn't clear off were the empties, because obviously I need to do a video to be able to clear that off, but the rest of it is cleared off. So let me show you. We'll come back in here. Okay, so what I did is I went through, and these are the items that are going to be on the use it up list, or I just need to put it somewhere else. These are the items I'm actually going to put back in the pantry because I have a purpose for them, or I just bought them. Back in the back, this is the Dr. Thunder. I just bought that because this week we are having the Dr. Pepper pulled pork, so I know that's going to be finished up this week. Right here, I got this big thing of the unsweetened applesauce and then 2 cans of pumpkin. Those are actually for pumpkin bread, all of them. So those I know are going to be used up. I just bought this pumpkin butter from Aldi, so I'm not worried about that. This Vidalia onion relish, I'm not worried about that because I just bought it. The soy sauce, just bought. And the 2 Parmesan I just bought. So those I'm actually going to put back in the pantry just to kind of get them out of the way, and then we'll go through the next stuff. Okay, so I kind of went through everything, so let me show you what all I have. The first thing I'll show you is this salt and then the molasses. Those actually I just purchased recently. They're just in the wrong spot. I need to put those in the kitchen pantry with all of my baking stuff. So those I'm not too worried about. Other than that though, I have 2 of these cans of chicken broth, and I think for the chicken broth, if you can see up here, I'm going to do chicken noodle soup, because if you guys remember from last week, in the freezer I also had that chopped, the chopped celery. And that's the only thing I use the chopped celery for is the chicken noodle soup. So that's perfect. I already have the broth, so obviously we're going to be having some chicken noodle soup. I also had a can of refried beans, which is really good because last week there were so many things on the list, like the sour cream, the shredded cheddar. There were so many things, taco packets up there, that you know, I needed to use up for tacos. And the refried beans actually would go right along with that, so that's really good. I also have a cream of mushroom soup and then a can of the mushroom pieces and stems. Those I could do a beef stroganoff casserole with, which would be really good because last week in the pantry I also had egg noodles that I needed to use up. So the only thing I'd need to add then at that point would be some sour cream, which is also on the list, and let's see, beef. I believe that's it. So that would be a whole dinner pretty much there. I have this diced tomatoes with basil, garlic, and oregano. That I use when I do Italian style macaroni and cheese. This other just plain diced tomato, I use those when I do this, it's like a creamy smoked sausage and tortellini type dinner, so that will end up being on the list. I have this jar of the mild banana peppers. I could actually use that in a salad and do like an Olive Garden style salad. I could use it on like French bread pizza or something, or we could do subs at some point and use those. So that should be pretty easy to use up. Over here I have 2 cans of pork and beans and then one of the Great Northern beans. I think what I'll do with those, I make this like crock pot tailgate beans type thing, and that actually would also use up some of the barbecue sauce, and it would also use up the sliced ham and one of the things of bacon. So that will probably be in the menu, and actually those would go really, really good with subs, and then the subs would use the banana pepper. So I may end up doing that to use all that up. I have this jellied cranberry sauce and honey mustard. Those, when you mix them together, make a really, really good sandwich sauce or a sandwich spread. So if I pick up some lunch meat this week, then the boys and I could have something like that for lunch. So that would use that up. I do have this cran apple juice, which I just bought this, so I'm not, you know, overly worried about using it up right away. But this, as you guys know, if you've seen my Dollar Tree hauls, when I buy this, I do mix it in with some water just to kind of help me drink more water. And then kind of the odds and ends that were in there, I have this chunky chicken noodle soup, which those, you know, that could be used for a lunch one day. Same thing with the tuna that's underneath it. I don't eat tuna, but my youngest son will, so he could have that for lunch. I have this sweet corn and then also 1 can of the cut green beans. Tonight I'm actually doing barbecue chicken, so I may do both of those cans to go with the barbecue chicken. I have a cream of chicken soup, which I make a thing, it's called Swiss chicken. I think I actually did the recipe on YouTube. I could be wrong. But anyway, maybe I'll make that this next coming week, and then I wouldn't have to buy the cream of chicken soup to go with it. I have a vanilla frosting, so hopefully I will make some sugar cookies here pretty soon. And then the other thing I have is a cherry pie filling, which when I make a pie, I usually like to use 2 cans. So since I only have 1, I do have a recipe. I'm going to have to look for it though, because I'm not 100% sure where it's at. But I think you mixed like cherry pie filling with smoked sausage and like bake it, and I don't know, it's like an appetizer thing. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that. So I wrote everything down on this list. I'm going to put everything back into the pantry except for these 2 items I will put in with the baking stuff, and then we will move on down to the next shelf. Okay, so everything is put back there. Now we're going to move on down to this next shelf. Okay, so with this shelf, I'm not going to really clear off a whole lot. As you can see, I did straighten the pans. They just needed to be restacked so that they fit better. These other things are just going to kind of stay there. The only thing I took off the shelf is this oatmeal container, so let me show you that. This is how I store my oatmeal packets. It's just much easier than having those cardboard boxes everywhere. None of them are close to expiration. Here we go. But I'm also not going to buy anymore until these ones are used up. So as you can see, there's quite a few in there. But I am just going to put that back on the shelf. And then the next thing we'll do is work on those drawers that have like the pasta salads and things like that in there. Okay, so I have this first top drawer and I emptied it out. So let me show you what all was in there. The first thing in the back, I have this Asian sides. It's the teriyaki rice. So that we could either have as like a lunch item, or I could do Chinese one night. Or remember last week I have that sweet and sour sauce that I need to use up, and I figured I would get some chicken nuggets this week at the store to use those. That actually could go as a side with that if I wanted to, so there's definitely some possibilities there. This chicken and broccoli rice, again, that could be something that we do for lunch. I only have one packet of that, so I probably wouldn't do that as a dinner side. It would just be a lunch side. I have 2 of these yellow rices, which would go really, really well with the tacos that I'm hoping to do sometime this week. Probably wouldn't use both. It would just be one, but I would probably do, let's see, the other one, quite honestly, I could just have as like a side with chicken or something. I have 2 of these pasta and sauces, and it's the chicken flavor, so I think I may do that tonight as a side to the barbecue chicken and also the green beans and corn. So that I should be done with tonight. I have 1 thing of the mashed potatoes, the buttery home style. Again, that could go next to chicken or something like that as a dinner side. I have this packet of the Bisquick honey butter. Those could go good with a dinner, a lunch, or I could even do that with breakfast with, you know, like scrambled eggs or something. Back here I have 2 of these Suddenly Salad ranch and bacon. Those would be a nice side to if I do those subs with the banana peppers, the mild banana peppers, and also the baked bean type thing. So that I will probably use for that. I have 2 of these orange chicken, which if I just add chicken to it, that is a complete dinner, so that's actually kind of nice. I also have this Zatarain's yellow rice. Again, this goes really, really well with Mexican style or chicken or anything like that, so I could do that. I do have 4 boxes of the macaroni and cheese, and if you remember, I do have that can of the diced tomatoes with the basil and garlic and everything, so I will be able to make the Italian style macaroni and cheese, and that would knock out 2 boxes of the macaroni and cheese, so that would be really good. The other 2 I could use just as a side dish or as a lunch item. Now these, I'm not sure. This again will probably just go next to chicken or something like that. These are the Earthly Grains, and one is in beef flavored and one is in chicken flavored. So that one I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use those up on. But as you can see, I do have until December to finish those before they expire. So I'm sure by then I'll figure something out. And then I do have these scallop potatoes, which we love scallop potatoes, so those will go with pretty much anything. And then I have 2 containers of the dry beans, the light red kidney. I think I have, let's see, a recipe for like, I don't know if ham and bean soup, if they use kidney beans in that. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check my recipes and see what I can use those for. Or I could do like red beans and rice or something. So anyway, I'm going to write everything down and then put everything back except for that pasta and sauce chicken, because that I will use up tonight. Okay, so that is all put back in there, and I tried to put it in a little bit neater. Now I did pull out the other drawer, so let's head in here. And in this drawer, I mainly like to keep like the ramen noodles and soup and things. So let me show you. I am going to just leave these ramen noodles in here. And actually, I just bought these, so I'm not worried about using them before an expiration. Plus, honestly, ramen noodles last for like 20 years. But the things that were in there that actually I'm going to try and squeeze into that other drawer are 2 more of the scallop potatoes, another pasta salad. This is the ranch and bacon. I have these risotto different flavors, so those I'm going to try and squeeze in. And then these Lipton soups I'm actually going to put in with the same, you know, with the ramen noodles. So, and I just bought these not too long ago, so I'm not really worried about those expiring. Let's see if I can find an expiration date on these. Oh yeah, November 31st, 2018. So I've got a while on those. So I'm going to write these items down, and then I'm going to see if I can squeeze those into the other drawer. Okay, so that drawer is completely cleaned out, and I did end up fitting the other ones in. It's pretty tight in there, but they did fit. So like I said, this thing of pumpkin I'm going to take down to my stockpile in the basement, so that will be moved out of the way. The only thing now that I need to go through is I have like an onion soup mix up there, a Velveeta cheese sauce, Italian seasoning, and then I have all these like drink mix packets. I think what I'm going to do with those is just get rid of the boxes and try and put those loose in the little pockets just to kind of save some space. Okay, so I cleared out that, top part. Like I said, the other stuff is mainly like tea or my back stock of spices and things, so I'm not too worried about that. But let me show you what was taking up the space in that top part. The first thing, all these boxes, these are all pitcher size of those little drink things. So I'm just gonna take them all out of the boxes, and then that should all fit into one of the pockets. I didn't even know this was up there. This was hiding behind this cheese sauce. So apparently I'm going to need to make some dip here pretty soon so that doesn't expire. This I love on broccoli, so that's probably what I'll do with that. In the onion soup mix box, there was only one left, which I use this pretty often to do these like onion roasted potatoes, so that's what I'll probably use that for. Plus I think I need to just like restock on those because I do use that pretty often. And then I have this Italian dressing mix. The only thing that I use these for is this like cream cheese Italian chicken that I do in the slow cooker, so I'll probably put that on the menu pretty soon so I can start using those up because there are 3 left in the 4-pack. And then the other things that I have, these are all just the single serving packets that you add to your water bottle. So again, I'm going to take them out of the boxes just so they fit a little bit better. Okay, so you guys can see all the empty boxes here. And let me show you what the finished product looks like in here. I put all those mixes back in that one. This top little compartment is all the pitcher size, and then right below it is all of the single, water bottle size. So that is it. Everything is kind of organized. I have a good idea now of what kind of things I need to use up first. So the next time I see you guys, or for the next project Use It Up Food Edition Part 5, we will be working on the chest freezer in my basement. So hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.